Jada and Tupac had a relationship that has intrigued many fans. Even decades after his death, people still speculate whether their relationship was more than friendship. Some find it hard to understand how such a passionate relationship could be strictly platonic. In an interview with Howard Stern, Jada explained how the two even tried kissing once, describing it as the most disgusting kiss. There was no chemistry between us at all, she said. I feel as though if Park and I had any kind of sexual chemistry, we might have killed each other, because we were both so passionate, and we loved deeply. It was hard enough with us being friends. We had a very volatile relationship. When you understand the deep bond they had, it makes it even more tragic that at the time of his death, Jada and Tupac hadn't been in touch for 2 years. In 1995, Tupac was sentenced to a year and a half in jail. He was released on bond 9 months later. He had a new deal and a new album to work on at the time. He released his 2 most successful singles, California Love and How Do You Want It. Both reached #1 on Billboard. A #1 selling album, All Eyes on Me, followed. So, at the height of his success, he and Jada were not in touch. Jada said that jail changed him. He called her when he got out, and they had a huge argument. There were a lot of things that transpired once he went to jail, but it was really once he came out. He changed quite a bit, which is understandable. She said jail was a very difficult experience for Tupac, and they ended up on 2 different sides of the spectrum. Park and I have always had very intense conversations, arguments. If we disagreed with each other, we disagreed hardcore. When asked what it was that broke up their friendship, Jada said, I just wasn't in agreement with the direction he was taking. I told him that it was a destructive direction, a very scary direction. At the same time, Tupac felt that Jada had changed and gone all Hollywood on him, that she had gone soft.
Oh, so now you all that now that you bougie?
She said, looking back now, I totally understand where Park was, because at that particular point in time, that mentality was part of his survival. Tupac said himself that being in jail was soul destroying, and he had no inspiration to write while he was there. He did write an autobiographical script, but he already had material for it. Other than that, he had no desire to work on any other projects, even though on paper he had all the time in the world. He also explained how close friends turned their backs on him, even people whose families he had fed.
You know what I mean? And I would tell each and every person out there, don't forget about that clicking up thing, you know what I mean? Be to yourself, stay to yourself, trust nobody. Trust nobody after dog. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me. Fear is stronger than love. Remember that.
Jada chose to be with Will Smith, a soft rapper from Philly, as he described himself in an interview with The Breakfast Club. Here, he admitted that he was absolutely jealous of the relationship his wife had with Park. At some point, maybe he even discouraged her from seeing him, who knows. Will has always had a clean-cut image, one of the few rappers who do not curse, the star of family-friendly show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and many family-friendly movies.
In having children, being in a marriage, and in this world of Hollywood, and being a bonus mother, having a persona of like whatever people were thinking. Perfection, which was just like, how did that happen?
Right.
That's been my life for the past 20-some years.
The clean-cut image Jada had cultivated for herself as a mother and wife has not always been her story. Make no mistakes about it. She was pretty hood back in the day. She even revealed in an interview with Access Hollywood that she used to be a dealer, albeit a very bad one, according to her. A revelation that surprised many of her fans.
I had to hustle. That's what my life was about. Because there was a certain kind of
lifestyle and way I wanted to live.
And she needed a mother to provide security. I couldn't afford it.
I never wanted to depend on a man to take care of me, so I was in the streets, selling drugs, doing all kinds of stuff.
I couldn't even imagine that.
Then in my own neighborhood, we were in the midst of a lot of violence. The fact that I had to live and die by my own hands prepared me to be out here in LA at 18 by myself and it be nothing. I was like, these jokers out here that they think of really doing something, really running game on somebody, you ain't running game on nobody. Okay? I dealt with killers, homie. You produced what?
She turned her life around, focusing on her career aspirations and eventually her marriage and family. Although Jada had a rough background growing up in Baltimore, it's safe to assume that she wanted to leave that life behind. But for Park, getting involved with Suge and the effect going to jail had on him took him down the wrong path. So as far as Jada was concerned, they were completely going in different directions.
Well, nobody really knew that aspect of my life, that I had started out one way, and Pac, started out one way, and then we kind of switched roles. It was the thing that bound us, but it was also the thing that broke us apart as well.
While Tupac has always maintained the term thug life was more to do with circumstances as opposed to a lifestyle of choice, many believe he went down a path that eventually led to his death in 1996. I made it, he didn't, she said. Tupac came from an impoverished background. Jada said when she met him, all he had were 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts, and that was it. However, he famously said he never had a record until he became famous. Rather, he was a talented poet, lyricist, and actor who read everything from Shakespeare to Maya Angelou. He was cultured and well versed in different kinds of literature, a far cry from the thug persona he adopted at the latter stages of his life. Perhaps it was the old Tupac who Jada fell in love with, and she didn't like the new direction he ended up going in. When asked if she feels guilt for not being in touch with him, she said she feels sadness more than anything, and that she knows he was aware of her love for him. Throughout their friendship, they fell out and eventually reconciled, so this was not out of the ordinary for them. Jada revealed Tupac was actually coming out of the mentality that tore them apart. Before the time of his death, his mother, Afeni, revealed after his death that he was making plans to cut ties with Suge and move on. Jada said, "I don't think I was guilty as much as I felt sadness for not having the opportunity to tell him that I love him, but I know that he knew that. I didn't really look at it as a reason to feel guilty, but it definitely taught me a lesson. Life is too short. Do not let disagreements stand between you and the people you love and care about." Jada had tears in her eyes during this portion of the interview. Even till this day, she gets emotional when discussing her relationship with Park. It was really tragic, but he left a very strong and powerful mark. People are still inspired by him, so he did his work, she said. Would you feel guilty or sad if you were in Jada's position? Have you experienced something similar? Sadly, this sort of thing happens a lot between loved ones and friends. We really shouldn't put off reconciling with the people we love. Being hurt and feeling so strongly about our differences is actually a sign that we care a lot.
Alright. Well, maybe I'll be down to scoop you up later in life if you ain't all shriveled up. Be like Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee.
Vic, you know you always got a place in my heart. But you know the times.
Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below, subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to click the bell for more.